Ay, 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 dum. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 dum. Oh, ay, 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 dum. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 dum. Boker Tov, good morning, Chag Sameach. Here we are in Sukkot. I'm not in the sukkah, but I'll be there tonight as we are in this moment, in this time period, in this place of Sukkot. The realization of the fragility of life, the realization of the protection of the canopy of God's peace and protection, as we are experiencing like the little cold snap that were when my house was 59 degrees last night. So maybe I should put a fire on. And so did that. The girls were freezing. I'm sweating. It's how it is. You turn the heat on. My poor mother's probably turning in her grave. You can't turn the heat on before November 1st for sure. And if she had it her way, it would be December 1st. But it's one of those things. Things changed. But I put it on for a minute and then I shut it off, just to bring it into the 60s. But something that was the reminder of Sukkot, people are saying, "Oh, it's so freezing. I can't believe it. Summer's over. We didn't even get a fall, and here we are in winter." And then you start thinking about holidays and the weather that attaches to it. So, we've had Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, the holy days where it's been cold or windy. And then we've had years where we're sweltering. We can't get cool. I can't even believe it. It might as well be summer. But there's something about Sukkot. There's always some sort of breeze. Even if we're in the middle of Indian summer, whatever they call that, second summer, for the more appropriate way to say it, the weather is going to be the weather. As my father-in-law said one time, he was interviewed by some local news. I don't know what the weather situation was. Maybe it was a storm coming or it just came, whatever. And he said, "You can't do anything about the weather. You can't do anything about the weather." But I remember, Sukkot years where the sukkah was literally swaying from wind. I thought to myself, well, that is the clear reminder of this transient life that the Israelites were living as they were traveling in these booths. And somebody said, "Oh, but they were in the desert." But like, have you ever seen the wind in the desert at night? Have you ever seen the sand kick up? You should watch a video on that. But it's also the reminder of that temporary structure, that which is life, that we're living a life that is a temporary state of being. And so when the wind blows, we are often caught off guard, just like that sukkah. Okay, it looks good. It's put together good. You kind of give it a little shimmy and you feel like, okay, this is as permanent or solid as it could be for what it is. And then the wind comes and all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, holy, is this going to sustain whatever the weather will be for the next week? And so I think, often in life, until the wind comes, until something comes along that stirs our soul, we kind of just become complacent. All right, everything will be fine. It's always fine. Or it always is status quo, whatever that is, good or bad, in the middle. Things kind of just stay the way they stay. But in actuality, Sukkot is that reminder to say that, you know what? Life is fragile. Structure is not always permanent. Things happen in the world and we have to adjust to it. Thinking of our ancestors traveling in these little booths, Yes, they had openings, and yes, I can only imagine what they actually looked like, because what kind of materials did they have? It's probably looking very different than the ones that we, erect today. But it's not necessarily what the requirements or commandments are for building a sukkah, that it needs to have 3 walls, that it can't be attached to a permanent structure, it has to have its own. There's a lot of different rules for it. But when we think about Torah time and we think about what that looked like for them, the harsh reality was that that was their permanent home. For us, those that have a sukkah, those that have been in one, those people that live in them for a week, it's temporary, like only a week, not 40 years in the desert. And so imagine living your life of a span of 40 years, even if it was much less, but not, more than 7 days or 8 days, depending on where you are, more than that, years. Imagine living in this kind of flux, unsure. We feel like we're unsure. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Clearly, we've all been through enough source of our own and collectively as a community to know that there is lots of uncertain moments, but one that's more certain than others is the permanent dwellings that we are living safely in whatever way that is. Not everybody's home space is perfect or exactly the way they want it to be. Okay, that's fair. However, we're definitely doing a lot better than a lot of people in the world. So Sukkot is, as I started with, that reminder of the fragility of life and the impermanence of really what could be. Nothing in life is a permanent situation. And so sometimes that's great and there's a benefit to that. And other times it leaves people feeling like, I just can't feel the ground beneath my feet because I can't feel its holiness, because I can't feel its security, because I can't feel its bounty and abundance, because I'm not sure how to hold myself up. However, the reminder for us may be in our everyday, but Sukkot is a time to remember, to connect to our ancestors, to link tradition to the future, to say, you know what, I am aware of how fragile life is. I am aware that the abundance that comes from nature and harvesting in this season of time is important and has relevance from then until now. To you, source of all, silence is praise. To you, we make whole our vows. Listen to our prayers. In your humaneness, we come to you. As our transgressions overwhelm us, you forgave us. Blessed are we as we draw close and choose to dwell in the sacred. May we be filled with the goodness of the divine presence, source of expanse. Answer us with awesome justice. Let us trust as deeply and as fully as the ends of the earth, as the distant seas. The source of all has established the mountains with strength, and in them a discerning power. The source of all calms the wild seas and quiets the roaring waves. The source of all calms the mayhem of the raging nations, please God. From the ends of the earth, we see your signs and we dwell in awe. You care for the land, it overflows with abundance. Streams of water are filled with a sacred presence. You prepare nourishment, sustained from the earth. Water flows from the ridges of the hilltops. You soften the land with showers and bless the sprouting growth. You crown the year with goodness. Your paths are ripe with abundance. Meadows and deserts are filled with plenty. Hills are girded with joy. Meadows are clothed with flocks of sheep. Valleys are covered with grain. They raise a joyful shout. They even sing. From Psalm 65. during Sukkot, we realize that this is a season of uplifting beauty, the gratitude for that which is whatever is permanent in our life, and the beauty to see that there is value in the things that change. And there are always moments of joy amongst all the surus, amongst all the difficult. There are moments of joy to see and to share and to be. This morning, every weekend is rough, and Fridays are just like a marking of time. And so Ellis got up this morning and he was in a good mood, and we went downstairs. And the Nintendo Switch handheld game has been plugged in for, I don't know, months, it seems. And today he picked it up and he sat down on the couch and he started to play Mario Kart, which is Andrea's favorite game. And my sister Emma's here taking care of the girls and said, do you know his favorite game that is? And he's like, Mommy, of course. She taught me how to play it. She would be so proud, as he came in first place, not even 4 years old. And so there is this feeling of deep sadness, but there's also this feeling of gratitude and moments of joy that come within it. And that is what Sukkot is about. That is the realization that, hey, wait, life is so fragile. And there's so much good in life if we could only see it. If we could be able to smell the fruit that's hanging in the sukkah, to see that there is protection for all of us, even when it swings in the wind and it sways and we can hear the sounds of nature and the rain might come in it. Very much that is the way of life. The rain's going to come in. It's going to get us. The wind is going to shake us to the core. And yet, we don't give up. And we stand erect as we can in those moments to weather the storm together. It was great to be with you this morning, Linda and Elisa, Bet, Jeneba, Reptova, Eileen, Fern, Amy. It's a blessing to be with you guys each and every day. And guess what? It's Shabbos. It's coming. So we will be together at 7 o'clock tonight right here. We will be in the Sukkah, but we will be here. Cold, but we'll be there. We'll be there together. Let's all be there together. As we go out into this day, we are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you, and we look forward to continued time together to learn, to uplift, and to reach out. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai.